I have no idea how to interpretate that.
Well, obviously one of them's a fat stick man hugging himself.
One, two, maybe someone should roll a religion check and see if they figure it out.
Paladin.
Seems that Agatha and Tammy have both had their interest peaked, and they're both kind of looking at the images now.
Yeah, I would like to do a religion check.
Okay, who wants to roll the religion check? And I will allow one person to assist them and give them advantage. Go ahead and roll.
17.
Okay. They do not appear to be any religion that you've studied.
Great.
So you have no inclination that they are religious symbols by nature.
Hmm.
Emus is going to start getting antsy at the mouth of the sanctuary. Start looking over his shoulder like, what the heck is everyone doing?
My back's to you, so I wouldn't even see it.
I'm going to look at Cal and say, you got any suggestions?
I could try and see if my history wasn't completely brain dumped after we learned it.
Salatami looks around, still a little frustrated, and he points at the top symbol, and then he points between his forehead and looks at you guys. And then he points at the symbol on the middle left, and he points to his left eye. And then he points to the one on the right, and points to his right eye. And then he points to the bottom symbol, and puts his hand on his chest where his heart is.
Dang, I wish I knew what this meant. So it's basically mind, eye, chest. So this is a symbol of him.
I wish I remembered the name of that bomb.
At the sound of that, Tammy tweaks her ear. I haven't been the one to tell you guys about that. She leans in closer. I actually think that's what this one might be. When I was doing research, I don't. It's sketchy, but I think I might have seen the symbol. She says, pointing to the one with the arrows coming out of it.
I knew it. That's the one that looked chaotic.
Oh, and that's why he's pointing to his eye. So I wonder what the other one is then. An eye of something else? An eye of order?
Not knowing the language of what's going on, but seeing the excitement of Tammy and her communicating, his eyes widen. He is looking around, kind of excited now, hoping you guys were getting it. and his eyes widen and he nods and he begins speaking Undercommon at you. And he repeats the word chaos back to you after pointing to his eye and saying a word in Undercommon, which you could deduce would mean I in Undercommon. No. As you're thinking and scanning of the words that, because he said 4 words, let me figure out how many. Yeah, 5 words. He's saying yes, the eye of chaos in Undercommon.
And then pointing to the circle with all the arrows.
Yeah, and then he points to all of them and starts saying this foreign drow word to you, just one word over and over.
What is that word?
I don't know. It's up to Boogie to think about it.
I'm asking you. That's what I'm asking.
It's kind of a longer word, but as you find it, it doesn't translate into one word outside of Undercommon, but the Undercommon word that he's saying translates into part of a whole, parts of a whole, or it could roughly translate to parts to make whole, and whole being like whole, like WHOLE.
So is he saying that if we do this and we get both of these ingredients, that we can make it whole again?
I think that all 4 of these combined could bring back Mistra.
You're so smart.
As you think through the words to say such, it takes a little bit of moment and there's delays, but with your ability to memorize anything, over time the conversation progresses with accuracy. And he nods slightly as if you're close and then repeats the word to you, mind. He points to the next eye and says a word that after a couple moments you determine to be the eye of control. And then he points to the mind one, and he says a word that could translate into multiple different words depending on context, but it's either the mind of wisdom, the mind of intelligence, the mind of knowledge. It's the mind of something more grandiose than oneself. It's hard to put a direct translation on it, but and then the chest one he's pointing to translates roughly to the heart of empathy.
That would be Agatha.
Well,
So
looks
the
like
eye of
Mistra's
control.
not coming back if Agatha's in the running. Goddess has lived her time.
The drow is sitting there looking around like, does any of this ring a bell to you guys?
I would point and nod Eye of Chaos. And then point back to us and try to gesture with my hands like a ship on water.
He seems to get a little angry and he looks over at Boogie and you pick him up saying, "You only have 1 of 4?"
Memories taken, bad teacher. but I don't have all those words.
He looks at you, kind of concerned, and puts the paper down on the grass and pulls out the previous one he made with the fire and the stars. And he points to the paper of the symbols and then turns his hand over, palm up, almost like it rising out, and then places the previous picture on top of it, and then puts his hand on it and nods, like trying to emphasize the connection.
Gosh, I wish I was smarter.
So he lays down the paper where he drew all the symbols, and then on top of that paper, he lays that image that I posted first with the flame and the stars.
How many stars? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Interesting. Okay. I would like to gently grab those papers and kind of like motion that I want to hold on to them so I can study them at a later date while we try to move out of here.
Okay. As you guys turn to go down to the site of the beholder, I need Calamity, Boogie, Bezoit, Emus, yeah, all of you, to make an intelligence saving throw for me.
$11.
That's two. This is very smart. Yeah,
I
that's
rolled a 4 plus 7.
Bezoit.
Yeah. Mm,
Bezoit, what's your saving throw?
7.
Okay. So as you guys turn, all of your minds, it feels like a psychic spike almost gets railed through your brain. Like this intense headache all of a sudden causes you to lunge forward, and your vision seems to be taken away. You're no longer where you are. You seem to be this incorporeal form, just in hundreds of feet up in the air, in some foreign land that you've never seen, observing some odd sight below. There's this beam of bluish light streaking upwards into the sky. Below is this field of charred remains and these just like brigade size level of like formations that are just completely skeleton. Like all the flesh and everything has just been completely burned off of them. And there appears to be this hooded figure with this kind of like necrotic energy emitting from his aura. And he's holding this object, this it's hard to see at your distance what it is, but it doesn't appear to be like a wand or a staff or anything. It's just some kind of stone or shard or something like that, emitting this blue light. And as it does so, the earth seems to kind of shake, and the skeletons begin to rise and grab hold of the shields that were not melted away and any sharp objects near them, arming themselves, standing up and kind of mindlessly getting into formation to heed the necromancer's orders. At that moment, your vision clears, and Emus and Bezoit come to. Boogie and Calamity are still stuck in visions, and I need to send you some stuff. So you guys that are conscious are free to move about while I send them these.